why your confidence keeps collapsing. So let me strip this all the way back to the truth, because you're smart and you can feel when someone's dancing around it. And I'm not going to do that, because you don't lack confidence. You lack self-trust. And those two things get confused all the time. Because confidence isn't something that you're missing. It's something that you keep breaking. That's why it shows up in bursts and it feels exciting, like, yeah, I'm confident. And it just collapses. You might have a good day, a good week. You'll feel sharper. You'll walk into a room with more presence. You'll speak up more. You'll feel more like your highest self. Then a few days later, it's gone. Back to second guessing. Back to overthinking. Back to that quiet self-disgust that you just don't talk about. And do you want to know what the worst part is? You don't know why it's happening. So you just assume that something's wrong with you. You assume that you're broken in some kind of way. But you're not. Your confidence isn't fragile. It's just unpaid for at the moment. If you don't do the things that keep you confident, it'll disappear. It doesn't just disappear for no reason. Because here's the pattern that most men don't want to look at. You feel confident when you're keeping promises to yourself. You feel hollow and empty and overwhelmed when you're not. It's as simple as that. There is no mystery here. Confidence isn't an emotion, it's a calculation. Your nervous system's constantly asking you one question. Can I trust this man to do what he says he's going to do? And every time you say to yourself, oh, I'll train myself tomorrow. I'll start properly next week. I'll do the mental work when things actually start to calm down. And then don't do it and don't keep the promise to yourself. And your nervous system and your inner self takes notes of it. It doesn't argue, it doesn't shame you, it just adjusts how seriously you take yourself. And over time, the answer becomes clear. No, you don't take yourself seriously. So you start to hesitate, you doubt, you shrink slightly in rooms where you should stand tall and be confident in yourself. Not because you're broken, but because you've trained yourself to be unreliable. And that's exactly why affirmations don't work for you. This is where a lot of men go wrong. You try to fix that lack of confidence with words, positive thinking, motivational speeches, affirmations, telling yourself that you feel confident. But your body doesn't care what you say. It cares what you do on a regular basis. That's why you can't outperform your way out of a broken self-image and broken self-trust. You can't convince yourself that you're solid while repeatedly proving to yourself that you're not. That's why affirmations feel so cringe to you. It's not because you're negative. It's because part of you knows that you haven't earned that feeling yet. Confidence that isn't backed by a behaviour that feels fake. And intelligent men can smell that fake confidence instantly, including themselves. And that's that quiet self-hatred that you don't admit to anybody. So let's go somewhere uncomfortable with this, because this is where the real issue lives, and I'm not afraid to scratch below the surface. You don't hate your life. You hate how inconsistent you are within your life. You hate knowing what to do and still not doing it. You hate making plans but then breaking them. You hate seeing your own potential and watching yourself just waste it. And that creates a low level of self-contempt. Not dramatic, not suicidal, just a constant background noise that says to yourself that I don't respect myself. And no amount of external success could ever fix that. Because I've worked with men who earn good money, who've got good status, have got happy looking families, nice watch on the wrist, nice car, and they still feel this way because confidence isn't built in public, it's built in private, behind closed doors, on the days where nobody sees, on the promises that nobody checks, because these are the promises that you keep to yourself or don't keep to yourself. And that's why your confidence collapses under pressure. Here's something important. Anybody can feel confident when life's going well. But confidence under ideal conditions means absolutely nothing, because real confidence is pressure tested. It shows up when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're bored, when nobody's watching. And this is where most men fail, because they're relying on moods, how they feel. When they feel good, they act disciplined, and when they feel flat, the standards just completely disappear. So their confidence is tied to the conditions. That means it collapses the moment that life pushes back. Not because they're weak, but because they've built confidence on feelings instead of structure. But structure is exactly what confidence is made of. This is the part which most people miss. Confidence is not built by big wins. It's built by small, seemingly boring, repeated acts of integrity. Doing the things that you said you'd do, especially when you don't feel like it. Training when the motivation's gone or non-existent. Doing the mental work up here when your head's loud and you don't feel like it. Keeping standards when it'd just be easier to let them slide. Because every time you do that, something subtle shifts in you. Your nervous system starts to actually be able to properly relax and feel some real level of peace, because it learns this man is predictable. This man follows through. This man is safe to back and get behind. That's confidence, not loud, not arrogant, but quiet, grounded and unshakable. And here's why smart men struggle so much with this. Here's the irony. The smarter that you are, the easier it is to talk yourself out of discipline, because you can rationalise anything and come up with a good excuse why not to do something. You can explain why today doesn't matter. You can justify those exceptions. You can make laziness actually sound logical. And because you're not failing dramatically in some blockbuster movie, nobody calls you out, and the patterns just continue because you don't collapse, you erode and break down bit by bit, and erosion destroys confidence far more effectively than failure ever could. So you're probably wondering what actually fixes confidence. Let me be clear. Confidence is not something that you chase. It's something that you build accidentally by doing the right things consistently. That's why I stopped focusing on becoming more confident and trying to be a confident person years ago, and I started focusing on my systems, a daily structure for physical discipline, a daily structure for mental discipline, non-negotiable, simple, repeatable, not perfect days, but honest days. When I started keeping promises to myself, my confidence didn't spike and then crash anymore. It stabilised. And that's far more powerful, because stable confidence doesn't collapse every time that life gets hard. Because daily wins rebuild your identity and build momentum. Here's the formula, whether you like it or not, and whether I liked it or not. Identity is built from evidence. Every day you either collect evidence that you're reliable and can be relied on, or evidence that you're not. There is no neutral. You don't wake up with low confidence suddenly. You wake up with the memory of yesterday's choices. And I know you know what that feels like. And the day before that, and the week before that, and the month before that. And that's exactly why confidence feels so heavy for you. Because you're carrying unresolved proof against yourself. The fix isn't hyper motivation, it's daily wins. Small ones, boring ones, consistent ones. This is why men come to me who look like they're successful on paper, because the men I work with aren't looking to feel confident. They're just tired of pretending and keeping up appearances for everybody. They want something solid under their feet. They want to actually be able to trust themselves again, instead of having to keep a fake smile on for the world and at work. And that only comes from having structure. So if this is hitting you and you want the exact daily framework that I use myself and with all my private clients, message me the word blueprint and I'll send it through to you. It's not motivation, it's not affirmations, it's not pretending and fake confidence, fake it till you make it. It's just a system that rebuilds your self-trust from the ground up. So here's the choice that you're making every single day. So let's end where it matters. You can keep chasing confidence, or you can actually start to build it properly. You can keep trying to feel better about yourself, or you can give yourself reasons to respect yourself. Let me say that again. Give yourself reasons to respect yourself. One path feels easier in the moment, but the other one actually works and compounds on itself. Your confidence isn't broken. It's just waiting for some evidence. And every day you keep delaying, you're answering the question for yourself. So it's time to make your move. What's next for you? So I'll see you in the next video, but don't bother clicking on the next video if you don't get a free copy of the Become Unfuckwithable Blueprint, the system that's changed my life and so many of my clients' lives. The link's in the description. Click it, download it. It's free. It will change your life and it will get momentum building. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. Let's have it.